their fucking kids in matching outfits. Man, I want to. That's even more foddish.
Yeah, exactly. That's the family FOD. Anyway, hey, the FOD family is here on a wholesale real estate hangout. You guys are like going, what the heck are these guys talking about? You'll find out one day. But anyway, this is wholesale real estate investing number 255 by SAHA. Welcome everybody today on Wisdom Wednesday. What is this? May 4th, 2016 to our Wisdom Wednesday show here, where it's Gold Nugget Day, and who knows what you're going to get. You're going to get some really, really good stuff. And I'm Paul Romero. This is our business partner here with Sell a House Arizona, John Leister. And how you doing this morning, John? Where are you hanging out from?
I'm doing awesome, Paul. I'm hanging out live from downtown Phoenix, en route to our new office. Going to pull over here in a minute when we get into the topic for today and toss it back over to you so I can run into a store and grab a coffee because I'm just dying for my caffeine fix this morning. But welcome to the hangout. Like I said, I'm here in Phoenix. Paul, it looks like you're in the war room here in Phoenix, Arizona, and that's where we're coming to you live from.
That's right, live in Phoenix, guys, because, well, that's where we run our wholesale business, is here in Phoenix, even though I don't even live here. I live in Lake Tahoe, California, which is where I'm leaving to on Friday. And because of being a wholesale real estate investor, I get to leave on Friday, and I'll be back in 3 weeks. Not only just because of being a wholesale real estate investor, but also because of being, you know, having an awesome partner in John, for one, and having created a business and a system that is getting closer and closer day by day to running itself. We still got a ways to go on that, but, you know, 2 years ago, if we were doing the kind of volume that we're doing now, well, we wouldn't have been able to do the kind of volume that we're doing now 2 years ago if it was just us. But basically, we've built systems, we've put things in place that allow us to do these kinds of things, to have more free time. I'm sure that John's probably planning on heading back to New York here in about a month and a half. I'm sure he's going to take off and take 2 or 3 weeks for himself. And you know, that's just the way it works. It's great to have a team in place, a systems in place that allow you the free time that, you know, is really what you're doing all this stuff for, isn't it? Time, your number one most valuable asset on this planet is your time and your ability to enjoy your time. You know, so that's what it's all about. Are you still there, or did you go to get your coffee?
No, I'm still here. You can't see my beautiful, handsome face?
No, for whatever reason, I'm not getting you on screen. So.
Oh. I'm still here, and I just want to add in, Paul, that that is the beauty of having a business system and partners and other people you can rely on so that you can go away on these vacations. And as Paul said, he doesn't live here in Phoenix. However, I beg to differ. Maybe he doesn't live here full-time in Phoenix, but you're basically living wherever you're at the moment. So I would say Paul's living in Phoenix, because when you're in Tahoe, you're going to tell people, I'm going back to live in Phoenix in 3 weeks. It's not like he's on vacation here. But you know what? I am going back to New York the last weekend of May. So right when you come back, I'm taking right off, because I know I'm going to be leaving a shitstorm on your desk and saying, welcome back to town. Here's over the next week, balance all this out, and I'll be in to get some more deals for us when I'm back in a week.
See, this is how it works. See, whenever I leave town, we land lots of deals. So that was the plan. We needed to land lots of deals. That's why I'm leaving town. And so I see how John's going to set this up. He's going to be landing lots of deals while I'm gone. Then when I get back, he's going to go like, all right, here's all the deals we got. Good luck. Close them. Let me know when we get a check.
And I'll be back in a week or two to line more up.
Real estate. Oh, how do I invest in thee, oh real estate? Let me count the ways. That is today.
All right, you're on, Paul. I'm running to get my coffee. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right, because yeah, there's so many different angles and avenues and niches and market pieces and things that you can do in real estate, period, that, real estate investing, let me put it that way, that you can choose to go after, which is why there's so much opportunity available in real estate, because realistically, in every one of these, avenues, arenas, whatever you want to call it, niches, within the real estate investing world, there's a lot of opportunity in each and every one of them. And so if you're an investor, or if you're wanting to become an investor, what area do you want to focus in? What area are you looking for? Is something that you want to look at from the beginning, because it's going to make a difference in what you do and how you get started in your business. So the first thing is, there's basically three basic ways that you could be investing in real estate. Number one is to be buying and holding rental real estate, which allows you to create a cash flow, a monthly cash flow from your properties, which in turn is, what's called passive income, because you don't really have to do a whole lot for that money to be coming in every month, and you can build that. And that's one way of investing in real estate, is through buying and holding real estate. Another way is fixing and flipping. And fixing and flipping, obviously, you're still buying real estate and you're holding it, but you're holding it for a shorter term. You're only holding this property long enough to purchase this property, which is in disrepair, needs work, etc., and so on. You're able to buy it undervalued, I'm not going to say undervalued, because you're actually buying it at its current value, because its current value is depleted from what the house could potentially be worth, because it's in disrepair. So you're buying disrepaired property, and you're holding this property long enough for you to go in there and fix the property up, bring it back to life, refresh it, make it new, and then turn around and list it on the market and sell the property and make money that way. So that's the second way to go. And then the third way to go is wholesaling. And wholesaling is where you really don't buy the property, and you really don't put any money into it, and you really don't sell the property, but you're still making money on real estate. How's that work? You're actually, in wholesale real estate, what you're actually doing here is you're getting a property under contract. And the same thing is, you're looking for properties that you can get under value. Now in this case, you are realistically looking for under value, whereas, as I said, in the fix and flip, you truly, you're really buying the house at its current value, because that's what it's worth for somebody to buy it and fix it and turn around and flip it and make some money off of it. All those things have to go into the equation, so that really is the true value of that property. But now when you're wholesaling, if you're buying distressed properties that need to be fixed up, you still need to get them under value, because you're not buying this property. You're getting it under contract. You need to get it under contract under value, because now you're going to flip it, or you're not going to flip it, you're going to sell your contract on it to somebody else at its value, which is the value of what it would probably cost to fix it up and repair it and sell it. So you need to be getting things undervalued, so that you can have a spread in there as to what somebody's going to be willing to pay, who's going to go in there and fix it up or buy it, whatever it is that they're going to be doing. That's where you make your money in wholesaling, is by contracting property undervalued. So those are the three arenas in which you can invest in real estate: is wholesale, is fix and flip, and is buy and hold. So you say, okay, well, that's not a whole lot, right? There's only three things there. Any idea how that could become a whole lot more, John?
Well, that's a good explanation to give people there about what this is all about. It's important to realize that when you're a wholesaler and you're selling a property that you don't own, it's not actually the property that you're selling at all. It's the contract to purchase that property is what we're selling. That's an important distinction. Distinction. It also opens you up to a lot of different options with that property as far as how you're going to sell it on the back end, how you're going to market it as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, cool. I just pulled up to my location. I'll be able to focus 100% now.
Alrighty. Well,
basically, there's the closing side too. So you've got two different ways you're going to close on that contract. I don't know if this is the answer you were looking for, Paul. We're just talking about the options. Is you can sell it, the contract, by assigning the contract for an assignment fee, which is just another contract to say that you assign your rights, interests, and ownership of a contract, and all your liabilities. You're going to go ahead and assign that over to somebody else who's going to now take over your position for a fee and close on that contract. And you always have them pay at least $5,000 up front, in my opinion, because if they don't close and they ruin your deal, you still get compensated for your time spent putting the whole thing together. So you always get a non-refundable deposit. And then there are those instances where you can't double close. You can't assign. So in that case, you have to do a double closing. Let me ask you this question, Paul, because a double closing, you're literally taking title to and then immediately reselling the property. But you're still marketing your contract because you don't actually own the property, correct?
That's true. When you're selling your wholesale deal that you've got under contract, yes, all of your marketing, all of your selling efforts, everything that you're putting out there, basically, yeah, it needs to be, I have this contract for sale. I'm not selling a house because that's illegal if you're not a licensed real estate agent. So yes, you are selling the contract in that case, and what you actually do though is instead of creating an assignment contract, you then create another purchase contract, and when you go to closing, you actually have to close the property yourself first and then sell it to the other person upon that closing contract.
But at least in Arizona, at least, and I'm sure you have this ability in other states, though I'm not sure which ones, because we don't do business yet in other states, you can use your buyer's funds to close both sides of the transaction. So you don't actually, it's still wholesaling in regards to the aspect that where you don't actually have to come in with the cash to close, because you can use your buyer's funds to close both sides of the transaction. Some states or some title companies may not do it that way, and I suggest you either, before you decide your state doesn't do a deal like that, first determine if maybe it's just your title agency. Because we've had title agencies here in Arizona tell us that they won't do assignments of contract. But it's 100% legal, and it's done all the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's the double closing thing is, and using the buyer's funds. That is one of the more trickier areas as to whether or not you're going to be able to do that or not. In some states, I think you absolutely cannot do it that way. You absolutely have to have your own money, which is why and where the transactional funding companies, make their money. But regardless, because I recently just heard from somebody that I was talking to about getting a loan on a property for us that absolutely not. You cannot use your end buyer's funds. You have to double close. You have to have your own money. Yada yada yada. So it all depends on who you're talking to. I mean, your title company, what they're willing to do. I mean, there's a whole lot of different things that go involved with that. What is the actual laws? Hey, you know what? Like I said, they're going to vary from state to state. They're going to vary from county to county. They're going to vary from title company to title company, from lender to lender to who knows what. That's kind of where I'm going with this whole show today. I mean, even right there in doing one transaction, how many different ways is it possible, or how many different ways is it not possible? Going back to the how do I invest in the real estate? Let me count the ways. Let me jump back over to the buy and hold side, and say that, if you're going to, if your desire in investing in real estate is to, do some buy and hold investing, pick up rental properties, what are you going to invest in? Is your next question. And this is where I say, let me count the ways, because you could say, okay, you know what? I just want to invest in like condos and condos and townhomes, or I just want to invest in mobile homes that are in parks, or I want to just invest in single family residence. I want the standard 3-2s, or I want, you know, multifamilies. I want, or properties that have 1 to 4 or 5 units on them, or I want I want to get all mobile or manufactured properties that are on their own land, or I want commercial multifamily, which is 6 units or more, all the way up to 2, 3, 4, 5, however many hundreds of units per building. You could go with commercial office space. You could go with commercial warehouse space. You could go with commercial retail space. You could go with vacant land. Yeah, vacant land's not so much of an investing strategy in the buy and hold arena, for the fact of, I mean, it is, but you're not creating a passive income off it unless you're buying vacant land that you can sub out to somebody for, say, farming or mining, or whatever the case might be, something that somebody would be willing to pay you for the use of that land, or maybe even just storage of equipment or something like that. So the whole idea, or maybe putting up a billboard sign on it. The whole idea behind buying and holding, obviously, is to create an income out of it, to create a monthly cash flow out of it. So land's a little bit of a tricky one. But as you see, I mean, and I probably haven't even covered the whole list here, but there's a number of different ways in the buy and hold arena that you can choose to invest in real estate. Now, do you want to be random about it and just go charging out there and I'll buy whatever I can get my hands on? I would say no. I mean, if an opportunity comes along that's not in the area that you focus on, I mean, I wouldn't turn it away at that point in time. Maybe you start looking into, okay, what's this other area? But to start with, I think you really want to look at these different options and pick one to get started in, to start learning about, to become educated about, to become good at. And then, like I say, as other opportunities come along, you have more confidence in what you do in your arena. You have the ability to have some knowledge and go look at that and kind of have an idea of the types of things you might have to go look for. Whereas if you're looking at anything and everything, there's so many different things that you have to look at. You'll be lost. You'll never get anywhere.
Wow, that's really important for people to let that sink in, especially when you're getting started in real estate investing, because there are so many different avenues and various strategies when it comes to investing in real estate. And I'm not just talking about
Did I lose you? I think I lost you. Yep, I think he walked inside the brick building and we lost him. So,
No, you know what? It sucks. I realize, although I put this phone on blocking mode, every time I get knocked off, it's because a call comes through and just interrupts the hangout. It's really annoying.
Let me guess, that was Tim.
Actually, no, it was Jeff.
Oh, okay.
So, what I was saying, Paul, before we got distracted by that, was when you get into real estate investing, it's not only, there's commercial, there's residential, there's multifamily residential. Are you going to own single families, condos, townhomes, land, the different passive opportunities? Are you going to write notes? Are you going to buy tax liens? And all these different things. Then you have your acquisition side, where what's my strategy for acquisition? Do I work with wholesalers? Do I become a wholesaler? Do I work with real estate agents? Do I buy off MLS? Do I call for sale by owner? How do I find deals? I think what Paul's getting at here is, for us, wholesale real estate is the avenue we chose, and we really became masters, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, Paul, here, we kind of mastered finding the wholesale deal, the property with a lot of equity in it that can be bought at a discount, and then sold, of course, at a discount or wholetailed in our recent strategies. But before we even bought our first piece of passive income real estate, we sort of mastered the art of finding the motivated seller with the house with equity. And now that we've kind of done that, we're looking at the fact that, okay, how many subject twos have we left on the table? How many short sale opportunity did we leave on the table? You know, these different things that we knew existed, but because we were focused on our strategy, we kind of put to the side so we can master and focus down and become proficient at one thing, and then move to becoming proficient in other areas, or at least seeking out opportunity or partners that are proficient in these other areas to fill the gap. I say this because I think it's important when you get started in real estate investing to kind of course, start out by getting the bird's eye 500-foot view of the scope of real estate investing. But if you want to start seeing success and start making money sooner rather than later, you're going to have to find a little niche or choose an angle in real estate that you can become proficient at. Otherwise, if you're looking at everything, you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to go nowhere. That's my opinion.
That's
and what I'm taking out of your message today.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much kind of the message. Yeah, exactly. It's I'm just trying to express the point that regardless of what you do, or when you want to get started in real estate or whatnot, that there's so many different things and so many different ways, and even when you're in real estate, after you've been in it for a little while, there's so many other new things that could come your way, and you can get. I mean, you could think, I know, I'm focused on real estate. I'm going to be investing in real estate, but you could, within just the realm of real estate, you could have shiny object syndrome and be, you know, going, oh, I want to do notes. Oh no way, I want to do pre-foreclosures. Oh no way, I want to wholesale. Oh no way, I want to buy it. You know, I mean, you could just be jumping all around. You really need to, you know, look at and get a focus. And I just kind of wanted to bring to people's attention the numerous different ways. And you've just brought three that I didn't even write down. I didn't talk about at all about potentially, you know, working in the area of notes and or working in the area of hell, I can't even read my writing there. Wow, whatever. I don't know. I can't read my writing. But so yeah, so like going back to now thinking about fix and flip investing. If you want to be a fix and flip investor, here again, everything that I just rattled off over in the buyout arena that you can buy and hold, well, you can fix and flip in any one of those same areas. Can't really fix and flip land much, but you actually can. You got to be real creative in fixing and flipping land. But every one of those, commercial retail, commercial multifamily, single family residence, all those things that I rattled off in buy and hold, you can get into fixing and flipping any one of those different things. Most everybody always wants to jump into fixing and flipping single-family residence, and there's a lot of competition there. Maybe you look at that and you say, hey, you know what? There is a lot of competition there, but there's not a lot of competition in people fixing and flipping mobiles and manufactured homes on land. You know what? Maybe I'll get into that. I'll have less competition. Maybe I'll have a little bit more success. So that's kind of some of the things you want to look at too. Is like, what's everybody doing? You know, is there something that I could do a little bit differently that might give me an advantage in the marketplace, make it easier for me to get deals and do deals and sell deals and whatever the case might be. So jumping in with the herd and trying to make things happen is the toughest way to go. So another thing that comes down to on the fix and flipping side is what John started to talk about there a little bit too, is where you're going to get your properties from as a fix and flipper. And so you got a number of different things that you can look at there as a fix and flipper as to where am I going to get my properties. You know, am I going to get them through short sales? Am I going to get them, you know, right off the MLS? Am I going to get them from auctions? Am I going to get them from other wholesalers? Am I going to get them from, you know, for sale by owners? Am I going to look for subject to opportunities? Am I going to get them, you know, are these going to come from my own deals? And then how am I going to acquire these properties? You know, am I going to be using hard money, private money, or bank loans, or my own cash, or, you know, so there's a whole bunch of things in there to think about and align up just to get started here again now in fix and flip area.
Absolutely. You know, it's so easy when you come out of these seminars. People are so jazzed up and but they have no idea where to actually find a deal. And what I see happen a lot, Paul, people that I'm very close with, come out of a seminar, especially if they've got a little bit of money, they can be really dangerous to themselves. How many people have you seen, Paul, that have come out of a seminar that get into a fix and flip that really doesn't have the proper margins or numbers because they're so gung-ho to go ahead and get into a project, yet they really don't know how to do their homework on it. So you got to have an acquisition strategy if you're in fix and flip that's going to be able to give you deals at a margin that makes sense for your budget and your numbers and how you expect to profit. So you got to have a little education too on top of all this. But yeah, there's all those different acquisition strategies and finding people you trust. I think really one of the first things if you're in, and this is one of the first things that I did when I got into real estate, start by networking. Start by meeting investors, people who are already doing it, and just choose your niche, study it, and understand it, and do your due diligence before you jump into any form of real estate investing.
Yeah, exactly. Watch out for seminar syndrome and walking out the doors as a motivated idiot. So the final the final category there that God, I wish I knew what I wrote there. Anyway. The final thing that I talked about was wholesale. You know, so you got wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold. Now we also talked about we added notes and God, I still can't read it. Tax, cadence. I don't know what the frick that says. Oh, tax liens. There you go. Tax liens. I finally figured out what I wrote. Two other options for real estate investing that John brought up that, you know, in the main category here of wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, is you could choose to go into the arena of notes, buying and selling mortgage notes, or you could go into the arena of tax liens and buying and selling tax liens. Those are real estate related as well too. But getting back to the wholesale now, what sort of options do you have in wholesaling as to where do you want to be doing your wholesaling from? And here's a whole nother slew of choices for you to make. Most people don't realize that if they come out to seminars like John says, hey, I'm going to go do some wholesale and get started making some money so that I can do some fix and flip, so that I can start buying some holding some properties, yada yada yada. They don't realize going out to do wholesaling that the whole big key, obviously, that kind of gets glossed over is your marketing. And if there's a number of different possible situations or problems or whatever that you could potentially be marketing to in wholesaling, and you're putting out some generic marketing to random addresses, you don't know who you're getting on the other end. You don't know what kind of problem they're going to have, and you don't even know if you're going to be able to fix it. So when you're looking into getting into wholesaling, you need to figure out a targeted market or niche that you want to put your focus into, and so that you can direct your marketing to those particular people with that particular problem, so that you can attract the people that you can actually help and not waste your time and money with randomness. So a number of the different choices that you could potentially go after in wholesale, people that have situations, would be people that own free and clear properties, people that have a property that's in probate, people that are have the notice of default, which is also kind of depending on what state you're at and what state you're in and how your foreclosure process works. Here in Phoenix, your notice of default is basically the same as your pre-foreclosure, whereas in some states, because of the way that it's set up, you could classify those as two different things. Your notice of default time frame opposed to your pre-foreclosure time frame. But we can get on that another time. Another thing that you could potentially focus on is absentee owners. You could focus on vacant properties. You could focus on evictions from properties. You could focus on bankruptcies, people who went into bankruptcy and are falling out. You could focus on people who are being divorced, getting divorces. You could focus on people who are, inherited a property. You could focus on people that are, transferring jobs or own two properties because of moving situations or whatnot. So there's a number of different market niches that you could focus on when you're going into wholesaling as well too, which here again is something that you're going to want to look at, examine, see what's going on in the marketplace, and make a determination as to which of these areas is going to best suit you.
Absolutely. Paul's giving away gold nuggets here, but the one piece that he is leaving out is, how do you find this information? And you know what? If we told you that, we'd be telling you everything. So this information is available to find. You can buy lists. You can research your own lists. You could go to courthouses, county assessors, all sorts of things, and find these different situations people find themselves in, which causes motivation. And you get yourself a CRM, you track every lead you ever find, and you build yourself a sales funnel, and in a year from now, you'd be closing 8 to 12 deals a month.
Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot. It's already 9 o'clock. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, real estate. How do I invest in thee? That's the question right there. You want to get started investing in real estate in one way, shape, or another. You really need to, like John said, probably a good thing to do would be to go start networking. Obviously, you want to start studying. You want to get some information. We just gave you the different ways. Like I said, we didn't really get too much into the notes and the tax liens, but those are a couple of ways that you could look at investing in real estate as well too. So you need to understand, what these different options are, how they work, and then what are the different options within the options that that you might want to choose to as your path for real estate investing. And with all of that, like John said, networking and talking with people that are actually doing it. Find a wholesaler, talk to a wholesaler. Find a fix and flipper, talk to a fix and flipper. Find a buy and holder, talk to a buy and holder. Talk to somebody doing notes, talk to a note guy. Talk to a tax lien investor, talk to them. All right? Hey, I talked to each one of these 5. Now I can narrow it down. Within these 5 arenas, which one do I want to start with? There you go. Boom. Now, go back to your guy. Talk about the different areas within that. How do I do this? Where should I go? Where's everybody playing right now? What are some of the areas where there's less competition? Would I possibly be doing better if I went after this instead of that? As far as my market, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot of things that you want to get lined up before just freaking jumping in the pool with your pants on, and your socks and your shoes and your shirt and your hat and your tie and the whole schmear. And that's kind of what it's like. If you're going to go swimming in the real estate arena, you want to get your swim trunks on or your bathing suit on. You don't want to jump in with your street clothes. And that's kind of, I don't know where that came from, but so with that, today's show is just really all about opening your eyes to all of the different potential possibilities and the importance of, creating a focus in one area when you get going in real estate investing to work from and build out from, and avoid and how you can fall victim to shiny object syndrome even within just the real estate arena because of all these different factions. And we see that happening all the time. Somebody gets started in one place and they're like, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to do that, and that you got to be focused. So John, you got a last word and get us out of here, or you want me to do it?
I always have a last word. Come on now, Paul. You know that. My last final word is, you know what? I think that, Paul, this was a great hangout. You gave a lot of information, and I think what my takeaway from today's hangout is this: understand that real estate investing has a lot of different avenues and strategies for acquisition, for exiting, the whole 9 yards, and you just got to hunker down and get involved by starting out and focus your time and attention on one niche and learn it, and then expand out from there so you can start making money. Because if you try to get into every avenue that there is in real estate right out the gate, you're going to move very slowly at actually doing what the most important thing is, and that's making money from your efforts. A notary just walked in the door. I got to sign on a closing, so I'm going to let Paul go ahead and close this out, and I'm going to pop off this call.
Oh, universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more notaries to sign contracts. More wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire, which would be one specific arena in wholesale, in real estate, or to get people started in. And our niche is wholesaling. PropertyNoodlers@gmail.com. Send us an email if you want some more information. More than happy to talk to you guys. And with that, we're out of here. See you back on Freedom Friday. I don't think John's going to be joining us on Friday. He's got something going on, so it's just going to be me and my Hawaiian shirt, guys.